Hello everyone, and today, starting with the new theme, I'm on my iPad. This is an iPad iOS only app, and I'm going to discuss this because we are going to be discussing quilt design. You do not need this app if you have Electric Quilt or Quilters Pro or anything like that. That will work as well. And what we're going to discuss, you can even do this on graph paper, but I'm planning on using this app because I think it's simple and it's very visual and will photograph really well. And it is called Quiltography. And it is a very basic design program, and I'm going to go into it. I think it's $14.99. It may be $19.99 US dollars, but I'm going to go into the app, and you're first given this menu. And you have your stash, because what you can do is you can press up here this plus sign, and it allows you to take a picture of your fabric and to add all the information on the fabric. So, and then it comes with these standard fabrics for you to work with. There's quite a few. They're all just happy, bright little fabrics. But you have your stash. Then we have my blocks. This is where you go through. I've made a basic log cabin, but if we go over here to the plus, we have a lot of basic templates that we can use of various basic quilt block designs. There's some curve piecing, but most of them are very traditional. And we can design, and when you make these blocks, you can also design your own block. We can go, these are the template dot, we can go to the plus, then we get a grid, and you can make this grid size. We can make it bigger, or we can make it smaller. This is a standard 16 patch, which makes a lot of different quilts. We have over here our different shapes that we can use. And what you can do is, like here is a half square, quarter square. We can add that. We can size it. We can rotate it. We can flip it on horizontal or vertical. We can change the color of it. We can darken it or lighten it. And what we can do is add our basic designs to create our own quilt patterns within a simplistic grid shape. And this is how you design a quilt block, is based on these grids. Most, I'm going to say 90% of all quilt patterns, block patterns, are either based on a 4-patch or a 9-patch and some combination of those. You can have a 4-patch and a 4-patch. You can have a 4-patch and a 9-patch. You can have a 9-patch and a 9-patch. You can have a 9-patch and a 4-patch. You can have 9 patches and a 9-patch and a 9-patch kind of thing. And as you make these, but when you're making the block, when you, let's say you have a really big complicated block that's like a 9-patch and a 9-patch and a 9-patch, you would make it a 9-patch at a time, then make your internal 9-patch, then put them together into the 9-patch. Or the same with the 4-patch and a 4-patch and a 4-patch, or any combination of. And I know it sounds confusing, but it's simple. if you look at any block, you can draw a grid in there and either come out with some combination of 4-patch or 9-patch. And that's how you make your quilts. You do them a 4-patch or a 9-patch at a time. And then you add those together to make your more complicated blocks. Simple as that. But we're going to spend a lot of time in quilt design and why you do things and why you use quarter square triangles instead of half square triangles, all that. But this is a great little app. So if we go, we're going to discard this, and I'm going to go down here. See, this is a 9-patch in a 4-patch. See, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then there are 4 of those that create this big block. Simple as that. And then with this, we can change our fabrics like that. Well, and we can change, we can multiple select, like, and color these however we want and get the design. This is a great little inexpensive tool. EQ, Electric Quilt, is way more complicated, has lots more features, but it's $250. This is $15 or $20, I forget. I've had it for many years. I love this, and I used it for years and years and years. But I'm going to use this for videoing in the future because I think it shows up. The iPad's a good size for the camera, and I think it works. So we can say we're going to discard that. But then we can also like go back here and we can go to My Quilts and we can design a quilt. Here is the 9-patch quilt I designed. Simple log cabin. Simple log cabin. And this was me playing with this, preparing to make. But with this, you can select these blocks and I can flip them horizontally, vertically. I can edit them. I can rotate them at 90 degrees. I can link them together. And I can change all my settings. I can add a row of horizontal blocks, a row of verticals. I can add a border. I can turn it all on point. I can add sashing to these. I can add sashing with cornerstones. I can add edge sashing. I can add edge quarterstones. I mean, it's a pretty nice little, and I can have the edge sashing, and then I can add a border to it. So, I mean, you can make a pretty sophisticated quilt using this simple little tool. And it's great. And we're also going to talk about all of the other tools that I use to make my quilts. And as stated in last week's video, we talked about Shelley Scott Tobish's Easy Precision Piecing. She changed my life because I really thought I was going to have to give up piecing. And I was really sad about that because I really love the old traditional quilts. And you can make a traditional quilt look modern. You can make a modern quilt look traditional. There is so many things you can do. And also with this pack, you get a photo quilt app. And what you can do is you can go and select a photo and it will pixelate it, and you can set it to 16 colors, and it will, or more colors or less colors, or however. You can make your blocks bigger, you can make your blocks smaller, and the smaller the blocks, the more detail. But you can create a photograph quilt using this set of apps. This one has, here's the picture that they used as the sample, has 8 colors. And I mean, if you did this, and the width of this is 25 inches by 38 inches, it uses color. It has 950 pieces, and the quilt size finished will be 75 inches by 114 inches using 3-inch finished squares. So each one of these squares is 3 inches. But you can adjust that. You can make them 1-inch blocks. You can make them 2-inch blocks. You can make them 5-inch blocks. You can do whatever you want. But you can use whatever photo you want. It doesn't have to be their picture. You can go to photo library. I don't have a lot of pictures on my iPad, but let's see if I've got anything in here that we can make one. Let's be down at the, here we go. Here's, it has to download from iCloud, and I'm not on the internet, but I'm like, but there's so many things that you can do, and we'll go through all this step by step over the next year in the how to make your own quilts, design your own quilts, and how to make them. Simple as that. No more patterns, no more kits, but I'm not saying you don't have to use those. I'm just saying, but it will also help you understand what your patterns are saying, and it will understand how the colors are chosen. You'll understand why you use the threads you use. You'll understand why you use the foot you use on your machine. You'll understand why you like your machine, because like I've said many times with machines, I have some really fancy machines, and I have friends that can outsew us all on a treadle. Single stitch treadle, and I have friends with $20,000 plus dollar machines and don't know how to use them. And in all sorts of combinations. And you don't need a $20,000 machine to quilt. You don't need $30 a yard or meter fabric to quilt. You don't need the most fancy cotton thread on the market. You don't need it. You may want it, and there are reasons for wanting it. But you need to know those reasons other than it's used on the quilt show, or that's what blah 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 famous quilter uses, or whatever. You have lots of good choices. So understand why you choose what you've chosen. And it's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong having a Singer featherweight. Nothing wrong having a Janome 9450, I think, or the new M7. Nothing wrong having the new Pfaff Icon 2 that's about to come out, or the Viking Epic 2, or the Brother Dream Machine, or the new Luminaire, or the Baby Lock, or Juki. They all have their pros and cons, and what works for you. So we'll discuss all that. So everyone have a great holiday as we're approaching those. And as I said, as the year progresses, we're going to focus on creating our own quilt designs and why we do the things we do the way we do them. I hope everyone has a great day, and let's stay on those budgets. Let's have a safe and wonderful holiday in this crazy year of 2020. Bye for now.